Listen, without systems, your chances of running a successful business, there isn't any. There is no chance, right? So a little bit of context on what I'm saying here. I've always been known as an organized person. And by that, this is what people call organized. This is maybe 50% of all the books I used to have and actively maintain. So I've got a daily diary here. So day to day, let me show you a really busy page. You can see a little bit here. Day to day, that's what I'm writing in. I'm doing my finances and organizing the money coming in, money coming out in this book. I'm writing YouTube video scripts and personal branding in this book. I'm doing book reviews and things I'm learning about in this book. I'm doing my business and everything to do with my marketing agency in this book. I'm writing out manifestations in this book. I'm journaling in that book. And like I said, this is a 50% of the amount of books that I used to write, and I've got rid of most of them now. And what I'm trying to say is that is not organized. That is chaos on steroids. And that doesn't even factor in my digital life, right? So I've got all the different things on my laptop and my phone. I've got the different apps. I've got things in folders. I've got things on Google Drive. Let me say, I used to do that, right? I've got a new approach now. And as you can tell by this title, this video is talking about Notion, which is something I've heard about a lot, right? I've heard about it, but you know when something, it's there, but it's not in your active focus, like you'll hear about something constantly, but you don't really heed any attention. That's what Notion was to me until it really hit the nail on the head and I came to it, I became problem aware. I was like, okay, having all these books and running my life like this doesn't make any damn sense, right? So that's when Notion came to my attention, and maybe watched a video and somebody mentioned it. I was like, oh, Notion, okay, let me understand this and see what it's about. If anybody's anti-technology when it comes to putting your life on there and spending too much time on the internet, and like your mum used to say or does say, Lord, that is that damn phone, right? If anybody adopts that kind of philosophy, it's me. So to go from my 15 books what I'm actively juggling to then go and put everything in one place online, it's been a crazy transformation. But what I must say is having everything in one space is a game changer. People were right when they said I was organized. I do think in terms of systems, but this isn't organized, right? I think I have the genetic code for organization because I was able to pick up Notion really quickly and really start to utilize and understand the benefits of it. I'm going to log into my computer in a second, and because I was about to go out, but I was like, nah, I need to make a video on Notion. So I'm going to go back on my computer. I'm going to show you what my Notion setup looks like. I'm going to try and explain a little bit of Notion. Obviously, I'm not an ambassador, so I can't explain the ins and outs. That's for you to do your own due diligence. But what I can do is show you my setup, give you some inspiration if you're thinking about transitioning to Notion. And I can show you how to best utilize it. That I can do. I don't know if I'll be able to embark onto all what I've learned in the last couple of weeks when it comes to Notion, but I can definitely present it in a way what will make you feel inspired enough to go take action to learn it, right? So, like I was saying, if you want to run a business, you need to have systems. And when it comes to your personal life, you need to have systems as well. Well, let me precursor this. If you're a systems thinker, I think you'll know if you're not, whether you are or not by now. I'm a systems thinker, like I was saying. So I just see things in terms of patterns, right? So I like to automate a lot of my life, my personal life. I like to make it as thoughtless as possible so I can use all my brain power, my willpower, and my energy towards things that actually matter. For example, I'm moving, starting a business from working a job has been a big transition. So every single thing's been new. All the skill acquisition, what comes to all the business skills, all of this is foreign territory. And if you've ever noticed when it comes to starting something new, that when you are doing it, you kind of tiptoe around it because you don't know what to expect, and everything kind of requires conscious attention. I don't think you can remember back to when you was a child and when everything was kind of new, so you're kind of cautious, you're moving around. It's harder to maneuver. It takes a lot more energy to do things because everything's a conscious effort, everything's a conscious task, and you're just trying to form patterns. That's the state I've been in basically non-stop since starting a business. It's just been all new territory. Like I said, acquiring new skills like sales and marketing, talking on the phone, dealing with people, building out these systems. All of this is completely new to me, right? So all of this to say, if I can embark onto you to go and pursue the idea of Notion, I feel like I've done a good job. So let's get straight into Notion, right? 3, 2, 1. In fact, no, that's stupid. I don't like that. 3, 2, 1. Cool. So let me dive right in. How do I explain this to somebody who potentially has never seen Notion before? You know what? I'm going to infiltrate you with information. If it's overwhelming, please, I do apologize in advance. So what we have here, this is the overview. This is home, if you like. It feels like I'm showing you inside my house. It's crazy. So you see here, this is just for visual effects. I've got Q4. This shows what quarter it is, just to stay on track of things, stay on top of my goals and different things like that. I've got an arriving button here. So anytime anything has been ordered and I know when it's going to arrive, I put it here so I know what's arriving, so I know when to be home and I know how to plan my day, if you like. And I've got here buttons. So with buttons, I'm really just assuming you already know how to do this. So you see the arrive button. You see the arrived section on my database, right? You see that this is what's arrived. This is what's arrived in the last 30 days. This is what's arrived in the last week. So you see this. You see my stake for the week, Ocado shop, my new debit card came, my Apple charger. This actually needs to go away. Or maybe, you know what, leave it. So this is what you see here. This is the arrived. I'm not going to show you how to do it. I'm just showing you for visual effects. So this is the arrive section. I've got reminder section here. So anytime I need something, like I need to update it a little bit, there's no gifts because you can put pictures and videos here. So there isn't any of that so far, but this is reminders. So things that I need to like kind of keep on top of mind, but I'm not going to. And so rather than scattering it across my 9 different books, right, I can put it all in one place. So this is my reminders, urgent reminders, normal reminders. So I've got replace front tire here. Database subscription layout isn't that. So this is just different updates and stuff like that. Reminders, right? So, and then I've got a content calendar. This is so I can stay on top of my YouTube videos. So these are different. I'm kind of giving myself away here. These are my different YouTube video topics that I'm going to be discussing over the next coming weeks. This is the current. It is Friday. So yeah, this is the current video. It's planned. Obviously, I'm going to update the status soon to, you know, recorded, edited, drafted, published, just so I can stay on track of my content creation and ram it up. Something that I've been doing right now in favor of systems is this is something I got from Kaur actually, so shout out to Kaur. It's this idea of a content day or batching items in given days. So say on one day you do, and that's the content calendar done, by the way. So say on one day you want to shoot nothing but videos. So you're going to do all your YouTube videos on 1 day per week. Perhaps you're going to do all your editing on 1 day per week. And what this allows you to do, because you're in a state of mind to be doing a certain task, like right now I'm in the mindset to do videos, is you can do a lot more videos. You know what I mean? You can be a lot more productive on that 1 day versus trying to do a video every day whilst balancing loads of other things. So you're switching your mind over time and you're in that double tasking state of mind, which ultimately is overwhelming, right? And if you've tried to juggle that kind of lifestyle, or if you're currently juggling that kind of lifestyle, you understand that it's overwhelming. So a lot of this is kind of optimized for me, right? And obviously my laptop is old. It's an Intel processor. It's got very low RAM. So these GIFs aren't going to load very well. But I literally spent like, because I love the appeal of things, I love the aesthetic appeal. So I spent all this time getting all these different GIFs. Like honestly, I won't even tell you how long it took to get all these different GIFs to explain my different goals. So I've got my weekly goals here, my monthly goals here, and my quarterly goals here. That gives context to the quarter section. Man, it's hot in here. Let me turn my fan off. That's why I've got the Q4, so I know where I am in terms of. Doing my goals. So I've got goals here, and then I've got like some kind of progress bars I kind of tried to make. Well, aren't even showing up right now. So I did have a progress bar here, which wasn't that great anyway, and it's not showing itself right now, so it probably needs a little bit of updating. I've got a financial section here, so it groups it by the week. This is something I've done which has been quite complicated. So like how I'm sorting and grouping things to be able to show per week like how much I'm spending. So like I've spent 420 this week so far on just expenses and different stuff like that. So that's what you're seeing from that standpoint. And then I've got buttons. Buttons are really cool because anytime you want to record anything inside of your database, I can just create buttons. Because like I said, I'm a systematic person, so I like to do things in terms of patterns. And so all the stuff I buy in a week is kind of the same stuff I buy every week. And with that being said, I've made buttons. So anytime I want to add an expense, all I've got to do is press the button for that certain thing. So all I've got to do is press the button for the petrol. Like this, it pops up here, a database entry is like a page inside of a table. So you can put all of your content and all the relevant content with that thing inside of its page, inside of a database. So it's just a lot easier to access. I know that won't make all the way sense if you haven't heard of it before, but stay with me. Like I said, if you spend just 2 weeks, 3 weeks deep dive in Notion, it's going to change your life. I promise you, it changed my life. So as you see here, I've got the page for the week inside of the transaction amount. So it says, like I put here on the template, that all I need to do here is update the transaction amount. So say I spend £20 on petrol one day, all I need to do is update that. Obviously I need to delete that now. It's here. So you know what I mean? And then all the templates, let me show you all the templates. Don't get overwhelmed by this. I've got loads of different templates here. And what this allows is for my personal life and my to-do list to be completely automated. Because if you see the blue tick here, this means it's a reoccurring template. So some of them reoccur yearly, like I've got something something for subscriptions here, which tracks my subscriptions. As you see here, it's pretty cool. And so some of these templates reoccur yearly because, like I said, every time each one of these is a page inside of a database. A database is this overall thing. So each one of these is a page, and so I can make sure I'm actually getting the transactions coming on time and stuff like that. All of these will reoccur from this template weekly, monthly, yearly, and it depends. I've put in brackets just to make it clear to myself, like some of them aren't reoccurring at all. Some of them are just templates, so I can use them for buttons for my to-do list and stuff like that. So I've got everything I do in a given week here, and that for me to get this information, I had to kind of look into my life and spot patterns, if you like, and then it's an ongoing process. So I'm constantly updating this thing. To-do list. Like I said, this is amazing because what I used to do before, and what I'm still kind of doing but transitioning away, is I used to get my daily journal and kind of just scurry around what I need to do every day. Even though a lot of them are just automatic things I do every day, I wasn't really aware of it because I kind of had to consciously remember what it is I needed to do every day. Now, because of the templates and the reoccurring templates and all the different systems I have on Notion, as you see here, the blue ticks are automations that I've set up. This is what I've sorted it by, and this is filters so I can only see certain information. Like I've got this week here, I've got tasks I've done today, because I've set it up so when I've done a task in a day, I click it and it's done. So like it shows here, I've got a content day, which is today I'm going to shoot multiple YouTube videos and just do all my editing and stuff like that today. And that's every Friday. And I've got my goals here, I've got different phone calls I'm doing, everything. And then what I was trying to say, sorry, is the evening shower, dishes, eating, morning, like all of these things are templates that reoccur daily. So I don't even need to make a page and fill out this information. It just pops up every single morning. And then my weekly things pop up every single week, like I need to meal prep for the week, I need to get petrol on Sundays. All of this pops up automatically, so I don't even need to think about what I'm doing. I just check my laptop at the start of the day and I'm ready to go. And then I've got stuff like reminders, so like I need to water my plants every 2 weeks. So every other week, my water plants thing comes up on my to-do list. So it's crazy. It just gets rid of a lot of that like mental baggage, if you like. It's this idea of digital minimalism, what Kaur Newport talks about. I haven't read that book, but I feel like it will cover topics like this, you know, because I've spent a lot of time going into digital minimalism. I deleted all my emails, I've deleted all my Facebook DMs, and like I've got no apps on my phone, like all this different extra stuff. I've got feed blocker on my desktop for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all different stuff like that. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I've got the one-on-one calls, I've got you know, different calls I've got upcoming just to stay on top of just to stay on top of things. I've also got my calendar, my Notion calendar, which I won't talk about today. So that's calls, and then here I've got like affirmations just to put myself up, you know, raise my vibe. I've got so I've got a food diary here. So when I'm trying out different foods and I get different effects, I'll show you. It's not too confidential. So what you can do here, look, is if you press at and today, it's gonna. Okay. Ignore that. Let me try that again. So if you press at and today, it's going to mark like today, and it's going to dynamically update. So all of these have been today's at some point, but then, you know what I mean? So I'm just updating my food diary, so I'm actively staying on top of what's working and what's not. You know what I mean? That's the food diary, and then the food list. This is different foods I can eat, and I'm actively updating that just so I can make sure I'm eating what I'm supposed to. I've got media, so all of my social media files, all of my pictures, all of my videos, every single thing I want to save is in this file section. And then I've got one for passwords. All of my passwords are saved here. Everything is here. Troubleshoot. So what I've done here is I've explained. I've got Jake the dog here. I've explained everything inside of my database. So anytime I'm running into trouble or I forgot how I've actually built this monster of a system, I can just go here and go to the certain section and learn how to solve it, or at least be aware of what I've actually done. And then I've got a digital diary, so I'm just staying on top of my thoughts here. Now this is like, it's just different notes. So I'm not going to go into the real advanced parts, like the different let me show you my library actually. So here, this is pretty cool. Because before this, I used to just kind of float in my mind how many books I've read, or what book I'm currently reading, or different stuff like that. I used to write out my reviews on paper. Now, what I do, this is all the books I've read this year, by the way. Let me load them. So I've read 84 books this year. I'm on my 85th book. And they're in order. Like, this was a template. I didn't build this myself. I'm not going to lie. So as you see right now, I'm currently reading The Snowball by Warren Buffett. And this isn't even actually available in the UK as an audiobook, so I had to get it from some American site. There's that. The last book I read was Made in America by Sam Walton. Absolutely amazing book. For anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur and you haven't read that book, what are you doing? And so I put my reviews here as well. I was quite hesitant to switch over all this different stuff to laptop, because I read the book Distraction, The Shallows by Nicholas Kaur. And it talks about this idea that, as we transition onto the digital age, our brain changes, and it kind of affects how we pay attention to things and how we show up to things. So I kind of wanted to fight against that and be the maverick I am and kind of just stay with the old way of doing things. But if you're not constantly changing and adapting, you're going to die and you're going to be left behind. So this is me moving forward with the technology, finally embracing it and moving forward. I don't feel any qualms towards it. So yeah, I'm doing I haven't I've got the reviews on the books for all these ones, but I haven't took pictures and added the reviews to all of them. I'm probably not gonna do that, but I'm gonna, moving forward, review them from here on out. Like The Secret, I reviewed. Ogilvy and Advertising, I reviewed. Art of the Deal by Trump, I reviewed. Think Big and Kick Ass, I reviewed. So then here we've got unread. And this took a while, mind you. It took me maybe a day or two to add all of this here like that. But these are all the books that I haven't read. So there's more books I haven't read than more books I've read. And then obviously I've got a wish list. So when I don't feel like, let me go back to show you what I mean. When I don't feel like adding it to the database like that, I'll just add it here. And when I'm feeling like it, I'll take all these books and add them to my unread list, so it looks all artsy and fancy, right? So look, these are all the different books I'm yet to read. I'm only trying to read 15 more books this year, then I'm done for the year. But you got all sorts, right? Amazon Unbound, autobiography, so autobiography of Jeff Bezos, and autobiography of Andrew Carnegie, Abraham Lincoln, John Rockefeller. We've got Richard Branson here, creativity, so the Pixar rise. Autobiography of Barack Obama, James Dyson, Benjamin Franklin, Michelle Obama, Elon Musk. I've read Walter Isaacson's version, which is amazing, but I want to read this one too. Alan Sugar, Einstein, Gandhi, Glucose Revolution, so the Glucose Goddess. 50 Cent, we've got The Big Short, Leonardo da Vinci, Ray Kroc, so the guy who revolutionized McDonald's. We've got all sorts here. Winston Churchill. Science of Self-Learning, we've got classic, Tony Robbins, all sorts. We've got some finance here, security analysis, The Intelligent Investor, which I heard is to be a classic. We've got all of Will Durant covering the entirety of civilization, all sorts, right? Loads of different books I'm excited to read, but it's just a process and it takes time. So I hope I've been able to persuade you to get, and I'm not even going to show you my business side of things, which would be here. And then I've got the private office. I'm not going to show you that because it's not done yet. So yeah, this is all I've got to show you in terms of, this is a very brief as well. Perhaps I'll be able to explain it better in the future, all the different relations and databases. So the relations and the roll-ups and different formulas and stuff like that. Like I said, you can learn all of this by just deep diving on YouTube. So I'm not going to try and bore you with all the logistics. I wouldn't be able to do it properly. I'll probably just confuse you in the process. So this is the overview of what I'm doing right now. And this is literally, like, I'm looking at my books over there now. Like I said, I've already got rid of half of them. I only use like 2 or 3 books now. And it's crazy because all of it is in here. Like, I'm actively, the way I maneuver my life now, the way I think, and the way I'm like processing information has just changed drastically over the last couple of weeks. And I only rarely see it going in this direction, which to me is crazy because, like I said, I've been anti-technology like more than anybody else. So this is crazy, and I thought I'd just share it because most people, when it comes to, in the entrepreneurial context anyway, most people are hiding this kind of information behind a course. And I know perhaps I haven't really given you any information or how to use it or how to implement it. I've only rarely shared the idea, but do with this information what you will, honestly.